Alright, what's up guys? I'm going to be showing y'all how to make a external CS2 TriggerBot. Yeah, let's get into it. So now that we're in game, our TriggerBot is open. As soon as the ID index, or aka as soon as we
Checking
hover
our
over
start
someone,
point.
then it will automatically shoot for us. Flicks instead.
3 minutes.
So it's just a basic external TriggerBot, like that.
1 minute left.
Terrorists win.
Please remember that this is detected because you're just using the Windows API functions to read and write process memory, and even though VAC sucks, it can still detect this. It's very simple and easy to bypass that though. You can handle a hijack, you can make a little driver, I believe in y'all, so lock in, y'all got it. So you're gonna open up Visual Studio, empty project, name it whatever you want. Create. And as soon as you open it, you're gonna go up here to the top right. These 3 files, click that. You're gonna add a folder, source, and then in that folder, you're gonna add main.cpp. Go into main.cpp, into main, return 0. This is just letting the compiler know that we're actually are making a C++. Then we're gonna go to project properties, C++ language standard, change that to 20. Go into linker, all options, UAC, set the execution level to administrator, and then you can go to system, make sure this is subsystem console, advanced. You can just have it on Unicode character set. That should be all good. And yeah, some definitions include windows.h, and then we're gonna go to source, add new item, mem.cpp, another one, new item, mem.h. We'll go back here, include mem.h, and then also include, then we go back, sorry, make another one, offsets.hpp, go back to main, include offsets.hpp. These are all the includes you're going to need. You're then going to go to offsets, pragma once, namespace offset, if I can spell, and to get the offsets, so in A2Xdumper, I'll leave a link in the description. The 2 files you're going to get to is offsets.hpp and client.dll.hpp. All you have to do is just Control F and look up whichever ones. So here are the offsets you're going to need. This is going to be an offsets.hpp, just your entity list and local player pawn. In client.dll.hpp, you can get team num, health, entity, ID index, and hpawn. Then you're going to go over to your mem.cpp, and again, you can use literally any external memory class. There's hundreds of them out there. Literally just look up on Google external read write memory class and just copy and paste the first one you see. Pretty much all of them should work, or you can just copy the one that I'm putting in. So in your mem.h, put all this in, make sure to define all these. I'll let you copy that for a second. And in mem.cpp, you want to copy all this. Again, this is a very basic memory class. Literally just go to Google. Probably I could find one right now. Boom, first one. Fuck it, use this one. It's so easy to get them. Copy all this down. And then again, in main.cpp, you want to make sure that you include offsets.hpp and mem.h. So starting off, to actually click, once we find out that it's on someone, it's easy to just click your mouse with a function instead of writing to the force attack offset. If you don't have to write memory, there's no point to. So void sim mouse click and just copy everything I put in here. Reference to that. So it's pretty basic what this function does. It's gonna click your mouse down and click it up. So now we can start in our main. We're first gonna get the process ID. That's a D word. This is where we use our memory class, CS2.exe. And then we're gonna do some checks. I like to do message boxes. Y'all could just see out that there's an error, but I like do message boxes. And then now we're going to get to the module base. That's a unit pointer. We can actually copy this over here. Fail to get module base. And then if it gets to here, then we're going to do another message box. Boom. So now we are going to get into the actual cheat loop. Make a running bool while running. Oh shit. If I can spell. So first I'm going to make sure that we have a panic key. Again, this really isn't needed. You can make it any key you want. Using key state, I'm gonna make mine right control. So, oh shit. If right control is pressed at all, running is equal to false, and it'll break out this while loop and then return 0, finishing our thing. Now we start off by getting the local player pawn. And we're reading a uint pointer. We do module base plus our DW local player offset. Oh, excuse me. And then we're gonna check if we got it. So if so we're actually not going to continue. So normally when you're going through the iterating through the entity list, you'll put a continue right here, but Visual Studio doesn't like that because it's in a while loop, not a for loop. So if it doesn't get the local player pawn, we're just going to see out that it did, and then you know that you have to go debug something because there shouldn't be a problem with this. That's it. Oh, make sure you also do. Now we're going to get the entity list. Entity list again. Just some error checking. This really helps with debugging stuff. you know, if you open it up one day and it just stops working, you know which one it is, and then it's probably that the offset's updated, and then you can just change it. Find int list. Oh, see, this is the problem with the copy and pasting. Make sure you put int list up here. Now we want to get our local team to compare. So we're not shooting at our teammates. We're gonna compare the local team to the entity's team, and that's gonna be from local player pawn plus the team. So this is actually the main thing for the TriggerBot. And again, we're going to read off local player pawn plus the ID index. And so how this works is, oh, actually, all right, voiceover here because that was a bunch of fucking yap. So pretty much, if it's not looking at someone, it's gonna return 0. If it's looking at someone, crosshair ID index returns 1. And another way you could do it is write a world to screen function and just compare the coordinates of the player's head to the middle of your screen. But it's a TriggerBot. I'm not writing a fucking world to screen function for this shit. So yeah. So those are all the main offsets. Now we're gonna get into iterating through the entity list. 0 I is less than 64 because that's the maximum amount of people that can be in a game. So first we're gonna check if the cross ID is less than 0. It can be 0. It can be 0 or 1, but if it's less than that, then that means we didn't even get it. So if cross ID is less than 0, or we don't even get cross ID in the first place, we're going to continue. Oh, I'm stupid. If cross ID. Now we're gonna iterate through the entity list. So So now that we've iterated through the entity list and found a valid entity, a compare and team is equal to the local team up here. So if the local player pawn's team is the same as the entity pawn's team that we get, then we're gonna continue because we're not gonna be we don't want to be shooting no teammates. Now for the health. Int health is equal to memory. Reading an int. Again, going from the entity pawn in the health. And another way you could do it is check if they're dormant or not with an offset, but I kind of just like doing it like this. So if health is less than or equal to 0, or health is greater than 100. So yeah, if their health is less than or equal to 0, they're dead. If it's greater than 100, they're also dead. So we're not gonna shoot at nothing, or we're not gonna shoot at a dead body on the floor. And so by the time you get down to here, we have a valid entity that's alive, that's on the other team, and the crosshair index is 1, so that means we're looking at them. And so down here, we're gonna sim mouse click, and that is the entire thing. About 100 lines of code. It's super simple. One last thing, you're gonna sleep for 100 milliseconds, just because C++ is so fast. This is running like a bajillion times a second. Just sleep. It's like 0.1 second. So sleep 100, and if your computer can handle it, mine can. But for most of y'all, you're gonna sleep anywhere from like 100 to 400 milliseconds, and again, change it to your liking. Every 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. So in between each shot, that's what's gonna happen. Um, but yeah, so this should build. Also remember that this is detected, and before you open your Steam, go to the properties and use the dash and secure flag. And so we run it. Attachment successful. So if I and this is very, very good for snipers. You literally just have it's very fast. So I would also add a
Only 2 men left.
get async key state. Something like mine on my personal cheat is C. So if you hold C, then it'll happen also because you'll be running accidentally. I mean, it's super.
Boy, if you don't get